Hello, and welcome to the Edison State College Credit Plus informational video. This information will be for those students who are interested in participating for the 2025-2026 school year. Beginning with defining exactly what the CCP program is, how much it costs, different course options, and a plethora of other information that will be vital to allowing you to hit the ground running in the College Credit Plus program for the 2025-2026 school year. To start us off, the big question is, what is College Credit Plus? The CCP program is Ohio's dual enrollment opportunity for students beginning in 7th grade, all leading until high school graduation. There are several benefits that revolve around the CCP program and participating, including earning high school and college credits simultaneously as you go through your courses. It allows for students to explore potential careers and college opportunities. The credits taken in the CCP program are typically seamlessly transferred to other institutions. There are several different ways that students can take CCP classes to make it as accessible as possible to them, including through Edison State campuses, online through Edison State, as well as through our selected high school partners. And then also, as stated before, earning college credits will allow you to work towards your college goals, but also the CCP program assists students in graduating from high school as well. Another big question is, what does it cost? The good news is that participation in the CCP program is free. There are no application fees, no assessment fees, and tuition and books are included. The student responsibility component includes any consumable supplies, as well as the financial risk of failing or withdrawing from a class, and we'll talk about that in a later slide. Public school students, participation is free within funding limits through the program, but for non-public and homeschooled students, they must apply for CCP funding each year. The funding deadline for these students is to submit their funding applications through the State of Ohio's website by April 1st each year for the following school year. The other thing to note about this is that there is no automatically awarded credit hours that you are approved for that are funded. The amount of credit hours you're awarded may vary from year to year. Course options. There are lots of really excellent courses that students can take through the CCP program, but there are some guidelines to know about first. Public school students can take up to 30 credit hours each academic year, and the academic year begins in summer, continues with fall, and then concludes with the spring semester. The total number of classes a student is able to take through the CCP program fully funded is determined also based off the number of non-CCP courses the student is completing at the high school for simple high school credit. There are course registration limits. Prerequisites must be fulfilled before registering for classes. There are certain courses within the CCP program that are indicated as advanced courses or level 2 courses. For example, creative writing is one of these courses. If a student was interested in taking such a course, they will need to have completed at least 15 credit hours of level 1 courses in the CCP program before advancing into level 2 courses. There are some course exclusions, including private lessons, remedial or developmental education, physical education programs, study abroad opportunities, courses that contain high fees, and sectarian considerations. Also, it's a good thing to talk about CCP probation. Students who drop below a 2.0 GPA or receive no credit for 2 or more classes within a semester, that would mean failing a class, they are placed on CCP probation. These students are permitted to enroll in one College Credit Plus course for the next semester, and they also may not enroll in a college course if they have previously earned a D or an F or no credit within that topic. CCP probation is primarily handled by the school district, and the school district and colleges work together in order to enforce this. Course content is an important thing to talk about. It's important to remember that CCP courses are college level courses. The topics covered within College Credit Plus courses remain consistent regardless of the location or the demographics of the enrolled students. These classes may address mature subject matter that can be graphic, explicit, violent, or of a sexual nature. So there's 3 big important things to remember here. Number 1 is the mature content questionnaire. This is something that is involved within the College Credit Plus application to verify that the student has the necessary social and emotional maturity to complete these classes and face this kind of subject matter, and to verify that their readiness to accept responsibility and independence necessary for the college classroom. The second thing to consider is the parent-guardian permission. This is also completed through the Edison State admissions portal. This is a request sent directly from the student to the parent or guardian in order to confirm that parent or guardian is on board with their student participating in the CCP program. And then our third important point is students who are taking these classes, we encourage to pay close attention to course descriptions to see if that class and the contents are acceptable to you. Read the course syllabi, which is basically rules and regulations, all expectations of a particular course. And then also check out the required materials outlined by each course. The big thing here is being college ready is going outside of just the course placement that you have or your grades. All right, so moving forward, let's talk about grades. The grades earned in CCP courses are recorded on high school and college transcripts. The big thing to remember here is when we talk about how College Credit Plus credit affects a student's time in high school, is that College Credit Plus courses that are 3, 4, or 5 credit hours equal out to 1 full Carnegie unit. A Carnegie unit is a high school graduation requirement within a certain topic. So then we move into option A versus option B of the CCP program. Option A in the CCP program is where a student identifies that they are wanting to self-pay for tuition and costs associated with the course. They have the choice of receiving both high school and college credits or just college credit for the course. Option A can be taken advantage of for students who have exceeded their awarded credit hours in the CCP program, whether it's public school students who have exceeded their 30 hours or their equivalent of approved credit hours, or for private and homeschool students who did not apply for state funding or who have exceeded their awarded credit hours. Looking at option B then, students utilize state funds for tuition and costs associated with the course. This is the default option of the CCP program, and the students will automatically receive both high school credit and college credit. This is the grand majority of what we see for students who are in a public high school or a public institution who are pursuing the College Credit Plus program. Regarding option A, there is a note that we wanted to put in there for you regarding self-pay. Please be sure to notify us before the drop deadline if you do not want the grade to appear on your high school transcript. The other important thing to remember is that courses taken in the College Credit Plus program and grades earned have a lasting impact. The permanent college record influences various factors, including high school and college GPAs, athletic eligibility, financial aid qualifications, and much more. So the grades that you get in these classes are important. And then we move towards defining failing or withdrawing from a course. And the last point here that is important to keep in mind is failing or withdrawing from CCP courses. We talked about CCP probation. There's also CCP dismissal, and it's state guidelines for students who are underperforming. This is ultimately a way to protect students from having severe, long lasting ramifications on their GPAs or their academic records. And also, it has to do with financial responsibility. If a student fails or withdraws from a CCP course, they are responsible at reimbursing the school district for costs associated with the course. All payments are made through their school district if withdrawing or failing, and Edison State does not play a part in that reimbursement process. Another big question is, how do we get started here? So the number one thing is to make sure to submit your letter of intent to your high school. For students who are wanting to participate in courses beginning in the summer or beginning in the fall of that year, April 1st is the deadline to where you must submit your letter of intent to your high school. Sometimes the letter of intent can look a little bit different. Consult your high school counselor for questions and specific answers about what that process looks like for your district. And for students who are interested in beginning their CCP courses beginning in the spring semester, that letter of intent is due by November 1st. The other steps of beginning your CCP program are pretty straightforward. We'll go more into detail about them, but those steps include applying to the college that you're interested in taking CCP courses through, meeting their qualifications, and then registering for CCP courses. The important note here is for private and homeschooled students in particular. The CCP funding application is submitted through the state and is due by April 1st for funding for the following school year. Okay, so let's talk about applying to the CCP program. Admissions into the College Credit Plus program must be completed before the start of the semester. Applications and supplemental items will not be accepted once the semester has started, regardless of the course location. The application deadlines include for summer semester, June 2nd of 2025, for fall semester, August 25th, 2025, and for spring semester of 2026, it is January 19th, 2026. Going through our specific steps here, you can apply online through edisonohio.edu/get-started, and you will need to select the College Credit Plus option as your student type. Once your application has been successfully submitted, there are 2 supplemental items that need to be submitted before your application is considered complete. The first is the parent guardian permission slip. This is a request that a student sends directly to their parent or guardian through their admissions portal. We also require that a high school transcript is submitted to a student's application as well. A note for that is that for any students that do not currently have a high school GPA, you will be required to take an AccuPlacer assessment in order to determine your CCP program eligibility, and we'll talk about that in the next slide. Please note that your application is not complete until these items are uploaded. And third, check your email. Continue checking your email and your admissions portal for important updates regarding your application and regarding admission for the CCP program. The next step is qualifying. Edison State provides 3 pathways for determining eligibility for the College Credit Plus program. The first option we have is students with a cumulative unweighted high school GPA of a 3.0 or higher will gain immediate acceptance to the CCP program. The second pathway is students with a 2.75 GPA and relevant coursework. This is where we kind of get into the weeds a little bit, so bear with me. A student must have a cumulative unweighted high school GPA of a 2.75 to a 2.99 with a grade of A or B in at least one of the following high school courses: English 10 or higher, geometry or higher, an Algebra 2 equivalent, any AP course. The third and final option here is having a college-ready assessment score. Students that meet college-ready assessment scores need to meet at least one of the following areas. They can take an Accuplacer assessment, which we test for reading and for math. They need either a 250 in reading or a 263 in math, but they only need to meet one of those scores in order to meet eligibility criteria. The other option that we look at for a college-ready assessment score are the ACT scores that a student can submit. We need either an 18 in English, 22 in reading, or a 22 in mathematics. And then lastly, we're accepted to the CCP program. We've submitted our letter of intent. We've submitted our application to our CCP program at our desired institution. We've met requirements and we've qualified. And here we are at the door of registration. Registration occurs every semester. For the best course selection and registration experience, it is highly recommended that prospective students complete the admission, assessment, and registration processes according to the timeline provided below, and we'll go over that. Recommended registration timelines include for summer and fall registration, complete these processes before your high school summer break. For spring registration, complete these processes before your high school's winter break. This recommended timeline is keeping you in mind. This will keep you on track and at ease through the beginning of your College Credit Plus journey. To register for courses, there are a couple different ways we can go about doing that. The first way is for courses that are on campus through Edison State or 100% online. You will complete this process by submitting a CCP registration form. All of these requests require counselor authorization, and they must be submitted before the start of the term. The second option is if you're interested in participating in CCP courses at one of our partnering high schools. This process is pretty straightforward. The most important thing is touching base with your school counselor and confirming your schedule with them. Speaking of courses, let's talk about course placement. Course placement is the academic record submitted with your application that will be evaluated to determine your program eligibility in course placement. There are three main kinds of course placement. Course prerequisites. Keep in mind that the requirements from each course may vary from one to another. There are course requirements. Fulfilling course requirements allow a student to enroll in a specific college course. And Accuplacer testing. Accuplacer testing might be required to enhance your eligibility for certain courses. Let's dive in a little bit deeper to course placement. The typical prerequisite courses offered at Edison State include courses that have no prerequisites. This requires students to be accepted to the CCP program and nothing more. Examples of these courses include Personal Finance, Beginning Spanish 1, American Sign Language 1, Intro to Business, and several more. The second course placement to discuss is College English Ready. This course placement will open up the widest variety of classes for you within the CCP program. And there's a few different ways to go about determining if we're eligible for being College English Ready. And there's a few ways that we can go about determining if we are College English Ready. For students who have a 2.75 GPA and an A or B in English 10 or higher. For students that earn a reading score of 250 or higher on the Accuplacer. Or students who have a reading score of 22 or higher on the ACT. Courses that require College English Ready placement include English Composition 1, Intro to Psychology, U.S. History, American Government, and many other courses. The third course placement is Stats Reasoning Ready. This is required for quantitative reasoning and general statistics and certain science courses within the CCP program. To determine if we have this course placement, A student needs a 2.75 GPA and geometry or higher, or a 2.75 GPA and an Algebra 2 equivalent. They can also have a QRAS score on the Accuplacer of 263 or higher, and an ACT math score of 20 or higher. Just because math has to be a little extra every time, there is an additional math placement that students can be eligible for. So number 4 is Math Ready. This is required for courses such as college algebra, trigonometry, and pre-calculus. Students must have at least a 3.0 GPA, as well as an A or B in Algebra 2 or higher. They must have an AAF score on the Accuplacer of 263 or higher, or an ACT math score of 22 or higher. Sometimes course placement can be a little bit tricky. There's a lot of different things to consider here. For specific questions on what you qualify for and how to qualify for particular courses, please consult your Edison State Enrollment Manager. And then we're selecting courses. With the variety of courses you can take in the CCP program and the different pathways you can pursue, how do we choose our CCP courses? There are certain career pathways or goals that students can pursue. They can also base their course selections on high school graduation requirements. If there's a particular skill development, that is also something that a student can use to guide their pathway through the CCP program and choosing their courses. The CCP program is designed to allow students to earn college and high school graduation requirements simultaneously, but it's also designed to hone in a particular skill set students are interested in, to pursue a particular career that a student is interested in, and then once again, as we've already said, to help a student pursue their personal interests as well. We make it accessible for students to take our classes no matter where they are and no matter what works best for them. We offer in-person courses at Edison State, including at our Piqua, Greenville, Eaton, and Troy locations. We also offer courses that are 100% online. This is something that provides our students with some flexibility in their schedules. And we also do offer courses in person at selected high schools. Course registration, a very important thing to talk about. Once registration is complete, students receive information regarding their student guide. This is information that allows them to have a full view of the supports that are offered to them through Edison State. They also are given important dates. So all of the important dates about any particular semester are all included on that. Also, textbook information. We go through an online bookstore called eCampus, and we provide students with a full guide in order to help them navigate ordering textbooks, returning textbooks, and how to access digital textbooks as well as access codes. We also include information about the IT help desk. That is a really important resource if students have any problems accessing their account, if anything changes with cell phone numbers and their secondary authentication method that is required. The IT help desk can help them through those questions. Students must follow Edison State's registration timelines for all schedule changes, regardless of course location. For registration forms and important dates, check out edisonohio.edu/ccp. So as far as registration goes, defining different forms of registration, adding a course, if you want to register for a course, you will need to do so and submit a CCP registration form prior to the beginning of the semester. Dropping a class occurs within the first 2 weeks of the semester. Students can submit a CCP registration form indicating they would like to be removed from a particular course before the drop deadline without penalty. That includes no fees, nothing reflected on their high school or college transcripts, and they are out of the course like they were never in it. Withdrawing is a little bit different though. The withdrawal deadline is later in the semester. A student can still elect to be removed from a course after submitting a CCP registration form, but withdrawing has some consequences. A student electing to withdraw from a course will have a W on their high school and college transcript, and they may be responsible for reimbursing their school districts for the costs associated with the course. The important thing to remember is that after the drop deadline passes, we are within the withdrawal window at that time. After the withdrawal window passes, students must complete their courses with the grade that they earn. A big thing to consider is that there is a lot to the College Credit Plus program, but the good news is that we're here to help. Edison State enrollment managers can assist CCP students with a variety of different things. Enrollment managers can assist students with CCP admission questions, setting academic goals, CCP course selection and registration, degree planning, transition or transfer planning, and scholarship and financial aid information. Enrollment managers travel to every one of our partner high schools, so my encouragement is to meet with your enrollment manager that is assigned to your school district and just make that connection and allow us to help you through your CCP journey. So some helpful tips that we encourage you to keep in mind is beginning college courses through the CCP program is a big step. So there's a few important factors that we would encourage you to remember as you embark on your individual journey. Course adjustment. The format, content, and pace of these college level courses may be a little bit different than the courses you're used to taking where you're at right now. So keep that in mind as you register for particular courses. Another thing to keep in mind is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, also known as FERPA. Privacy rights transition to the student. When you begin your College Credit Plus journey, you yourself as the student need to reach out and ask questions to your college and to your instructor individually. There is a shift in the parental role to where, due to the FERPA Privacy Act, parents are limited in the intervention that they can have with students pursuing the CCP program. For example, if there's a question or an issue with an online class that a student is taking within the CCP program, it is the student's responsibility to communicate with their instructor directly. Parents who reach out to instructors may not receive a response. That dives into communication responsibilities. Parents, counselors, faculty, and staff, it's important to keep in mind the different roles that we play. Parents or guardians are a wonderful support system to their students as they go through their CCP journeys, but the communication that you are responsible for is very limited. It is the student's responsibility to communicate with their high school counselors, to communicate with college faculty, and to communicate with vital staff such as enrollment managers in order to plan their pathways accordingly. Speaking of planning, that's another factor to consider. Defining goals and establishing a career pathway or a degree completion plan is all in the hands of the student. The transition after high school and coming up with a plan post-high school is an important thing to keep in mind. If a student is interested in continuing with Edison State after high school, it is their responsibility to apply to Edison State, to send official high school transcripts, and to apply for Edison State scholarships before the scholarship deadline. And just like that, we're through our informational presentation for the College Credit Plus program for the 2025-2026 school year participants. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have questions, concerns, and to get started. Please reach out to 937-778-8600 or visit us at www.edisonohio.edu/ccp. For general questions about the program, or to inquire about getting started, you're also welcome to send us an email at ccp@edisonohio.edu. You can also contact your Edison State enrollment manager assigned to your school district. Thank you so much for listening, and good luck with your College Credit Plus journey in the 2025-2026 school year.